I mean, Just mic'd up with Mikie Mahtook. Got the boys in. I got Lloyd. We got J Mitch. We got Jackie Boy.
He tried to jump up and he might have knocked it in.
Good time. Let's go. What a start to the Monday. I mean, I'm from Lafayette. My boys would come in, say,
Oh, God. So me and Joe on the ground. I got Joe in the headlock. And he's sitting there.
helmet.
He's punching me in the stomach, like, steady punching me.
Here, and as everyone's sitting around, who here thinks Ochinko can practice today after having 5 full beers? And he goes, Chad Jones, right? Chad's been with the team
6 minutes.
for 7 minutes, right? Chad's like, no, man, I don't think Ochinko can practice today. And I was like, I look back, I'm like, Jesus Christ. I fucking saw you there. You were more fucked up than me.
Be on the spirit plane had some issues. I think she was sleep farting.
You heard her or you just thought it was her?
I sat right next to her. I smelled.
Whoa. What was that?
Time to start the show.
Why would I have that?
You had the circus or something.
I'm late. Like, I don't even know what I'd be doing.
Now, when you do go to spring training, are you going to bring your chinchilla and your turtle? My dad tell you about it?
In the SEC is, God, they hate fat people. I mean, I get crushed for that. You know what I mean? And it's like, come on, man.
Hey, just the South, bro. You got a bunch of food down here. Like they're all fatter than me.
Players, look at Lloyd.
You know what, Lloyd?
You're looking for a recruiting coordinator, coach. I'm here.
Yeah.
He was like, I'll piss my pants right now.
No way.
We're wearing gray pants, long gray pants. He goes, I'll piss my pants right now. Hello. Welcome back to Mic'd Up. Today is Friday, June 9th. Super Regionals start today. There are 4 games going on today. Duke at Virginia. That is going on right now as we speak. Duke was up 3-1 in the bottom of the 6th. Virginia scored 3 in the bottom of the 6th to make it 4-3. They are now on the top of the 7th. Duke has been playing some pretty high-level baseball lately. A couple of us in here picked them to win that series. If you want to continue to watch college baseball throughout the course of the day, Indiana State at TCU. Indiana State, the Sycamores, are a national 14th overall national seed. They are not hosting their Supers because they have a Indiana, I guess there's a
Collective?
There's the Special Olympics are going on in that area of Indiana, and they don't have enough. The infrastructure can't support 2 big events, which is it's a shame for them because Indiana State's not a normal host. This was great for them. They hosted a regional. It would be nice for them to host a super regional, but they are not. So now they're playing at TCU as the home team, I would imagine. Maybe not.
They'd swap it either.
They should be the home team
today
at TCU today, right? So they played today at 4:00. South Carolina at Florida. That's the two SEC teams that are playing today. They're matched up at Florida. They play tonight at 5. And then the last game of the schedule, the baseball after dark game. Yeah, it's Oral Roberts at Oregon. I know you picked Oral Roberts. Oral Roberts is a 4 seed, I believe, in this tournament.
They're hot.
And they're hot. They're playing good baseball. But the Super Regional start, LSU obviously plays tomorrow at 2 p.m. We will be having our tailgate. Mik'd Up has the second tailgate of the year, second and last tailgate of the year, unless you go to Omaha. We will be out there. I will not tell you where we are going to be located, but you will be able to see us. Come out and hang out with us. Have some drinks with us. Drink some Heineken Silvers with us. Have some food with us. We are going to be out there significantly early and have a good time. Listen, if you're not going to bring your personality, just don't come. Walk around us. Don't come hang out with us. Make sure that if you are in our tailgate,
clubby.
Yeah, be a clubby. If you are in our tailgate, please bring the good energy. Please bring the personality. We're going to be having a lot of fun. It's going to be hot, but it's going to be good. That's why you need the alcohol to cool you down.
Is it going to be rainy?
It's not supposed to rain.
Oh, we talked to the
June.
weatherman this morning.
I don't know, dude. It's June.
That's
You
Louisiana
never know
weather.
what you might see.
You never know what you may see. Last weekend it wasn't supposed to rain Friday and Saturday, but it did. And then it was supposed to rain on Monday, and it didn't. So, never know.
The world is your
Who
oyster.
knows? The world is your oyster. But Super Regional start today. Let's run through the rest of these Heineken headlines. Don't have many because the main attraction of our show today is the LSU Kentucky preview. We're going to get into that. NBA Finals Game 4 is tonight as well in Miami. Hopefully Miami can win and tie and even the series. I like to see that series go as long as it can go. Wes Johnson's contract details have come out for his deal at Georgia. He is, I think, making, $750,000 or something?
I think 700.
700 flat.
700 flat. I'm sure there's some bonuses mixed in there based off of performances. I would imagine he's probably the lowest paid SEC baseball coach.
But 45 more than what that current.
Buddy's getting a pay raise of the guy before. And I think that was the as they were going in and trying to find their new head coach, I think their whole thing was, hey, we're not going to go out there and we're not going to pay top dollar to bring in a current head coach to come in here because they're going to have to outpay the school that he's at to get him here. So they said, okay, it's either going to be an assistant who doesn't have any head coaching experience or some other route. Obviously, they went with Wes Johnson. I think that's a good hire for them. We will see how he is able to bring his baseball knowledge and his pitching knowledge to Georgia as a head coach.
Sounds pretty much a smart move by them.
Absolutely.
They can use those resources elsewhere.
Absolutely.
That'd be a good move by them.
Oh, the amount of money the football team has brought in, I'd imagine you could double the salary.
Well, I'm just saying
yeah.
in the thought process that, like, if you're looking at maybe $1 million being kind of the benchmark, if you're looking for a way to someone to push the program forward that's got a lot of experience,
right,
but no head coaching experience, but you're paying more than your previous head coach, not a bad hire.
And maybe you can hire better assistants. Maybe you can figure out a way. I mean, honestly, that's probably it. Better assistants would be the next step for them to try to, put together a staff that can bring in recruits and develop recruits and get them back into their.
I would love to know how much,
ways.
just the thought process of that. I would love to know how much money they don't have to spend when it comes to travel, as far as for being able to see national prospects, because everybody goes through.
There's
so much high-level baseball played on that age, at the young age group that goes through the Atlanta, Georgia area,
East Cobb
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, I'd love to know how much money they save off of not really having to go anywhere. It's in the backyard.
Yeah, you're having constant traffic.
Yeah.
Come through Georgia with high level.
Some of the biggest
baseball
tournaments at that age are through there, and they don't have to go anywhere for it.
Absolutely.
It kind of makes them a little bit of a sleeping giant if you can get.
Oh, Georgia.
No, it does. It's one of
Georgia,
it's one of the ones we've always worried. Like, how are they not constantly a powerhouse?
Yeah, like Georgia's Athens is a great place to be. Right, Georgia. Not only do they have a ton of baseball there, but athletes in general out of Georgia. Right. Yeah. People talk about how per capita Louisiana is one of the best football breeding grounds, but Georgia's there too.
Yeah.
It would be like if LSU was bad at football. Be
Right.
Like, how are they bad with all of
Right.
the talent, right?
Right.
And
Just go knock on
locationally,
the door.
it's what Baton Rouge is to New Orleans. It's pretty much the same thing to Atlanta. So
Right.
it's right there near a huge city too. So I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah, but who knows? I mean, look, they've had success before. They in 2008 they're in the finals against Fresno State. 2009 they're ranked in the top 5 pretty much all year. So they have the ability to make runs and the ability to get players there. Hopefully West can do that and put them in a position to be perennial contenders for Omaha.
I feel bad because when we had Jay on when he was at Georgia, he was like, "Oh man, Athens is gorgeous. Like, don't you get any ideas?" And I wonder if he'd already known about West and didn't say anything.
Maybe.
And I didn't mean to put him on the spot. I didn't know anything.
Yeah, maybe.
They might have been poaching him at that point a little bit.
Yeah, and I think he knew, and from the conversations that I've had with other people close to the program, not in the program, but close to the program, I think this is a good move for all parties. Obviously, Wes had ambition to become a head coach, and he did what he did. He came to LSU, and now he's going over there. It's probably better now than he gets kind of settled and has a couple waves of recruits to come in because they want to pitch for him or like learn from him, and all of a sudden you leave when you kind of built that stability. Right now, you're only there for a year, so it's not like you have to worry about, damn, I brought all these guys in just for me, and now I'm gone. I think that's timing wise, I think it's fine. But best of luck to him. Best of luck to him.
But let's focus on the here and now.
Let's focus on the here and now. It is a special edition of Ask Mikey and Mitch. We didn't advertise it on Twitter, and we didn't promote it on Twitter just because it's not normally our Ask Mikey and Mitch day. But it's Friday before the weekend. We're feeling nice. We're feeling generous, and we want to have more conversation. I know there's a lot of questions about LSU baseball this weekend. How are they going to change things up? If they're going to change things up. So I know me and Lloyd had a conversation as we were driving to the studio about some questions that your friends have asked you, right? Why don't you pose those questions to the group, the class, and let us have a little jump start.
Absolutely. So the first one that kind of was obviously a lot of people when they're on the driving either to or from work or wherever they have to go.
I think the best in my car.
Yeah, the phone becomes a very viable option to get your thoughts out. And so my buddy called me and he was wondering if there's any, aside from the obvious advantages of just throwing Skeens as the first starter, if you're able to pick up any kind of hitting points from Kentucky, or any team for that matter, but let's focus on Kentucky, of what you do with the next guy. If they're able to touch Skeens at 101, it's like, okay, so he can catch up to the fastball because now if you have Ty Floyd, 95, 96, does it change the way you throw your pitchers because of the data that you're getting off of Skeens?
I'm curious to see what he says. You know what I think, and
Right.
I'll say it on air, but I'm going to let him go first because you've just asked me that same question, and I gave you my answer. I don't want you to hear me talk too much.
No, I love it.
So you're curious to see if they're able to put together good at bats off of 97 to 100, do you pitch them a different way?
Right.
Well, I've always been in belief that a smart pitcher, smart player, sticks to their strengths.
Y'all
So-
cheating off each other.
So I just in the thought process of if I don't know, if I'm Ty Floyd, if I'm Thatcher Hurd, I'm pretty sure, like, if I'm Thatcher, I'm pretty sure Thatcher's not going to go out there and say, yep, you're getting all curveballs today. I'm sure he's still going to use the fastball a lot. I'm sure Ty Floyd is not going to be like, whew, they hit a line drives off a one-on-one. Just make it a change-up day. I don't really think it goes that way, right? Like, I haven't seen it go that way.
The only
at
guy
all, so.
I feel like on the team, and I told you this, the only guy I feel like that as a pitcher on this team that can do that and say, you know what, and not even change their game plan beforehand, change it within the game is Skeens, right? He's the only one that has the elite ability to be able to have 5 pitches that I can throw anytime in any count, and I'm confident all of those pitches. He's the only guy that says, okay, I mean, you saw it last week, right? You saw it against Arkansas in the SEC tournament. Arkansas had a great first inning. Not any runs or any hits, but they hit a few balls hard. What did you see after that? Let me spin a couple breaking balls over the plate. Let me throw my two-seamer into righties, which he hasn't done a ton this year. So to me, he's the only guy on the team that can do that. But to your point, and to what I told you over the phone was, you can't ask a pitcher to pitch to the hitter's weaknesses if it's going to put them in a hole against their strengths, right? So what Jared said is he's been under the belief that you pitch to your strengths. I 100% agree with that, right? If you want Ty Floyd to go out there and throw a ton of breaking balls because you want to pitch them backwards, and he hasn't done that all year, and his breaking ball hasn't been as consistent as his fastball, and now he's in 2-0, 3-1 counts, you're getting the same situation that you would have got if they were going to hit the fastball in 0-0. At least in 0-0, you don't know if you're just going to get the fastball or you get something else. 3-0, 3-1, after you've been really trying to throw the breaking ball or change up or whatever, and you're behind the count and you don't have a feel for it, then I'm really going to tee off on the fastball, right?
I think it really doesn't matter if you literally sat 130, right? If they can catch up to it, they can catch up to it. It really doesn't matter. But with that being said, if you have feel, like he said, for a breaking ball, and you're able to, I don't know, out of 9 guys in the lineup, let's say 4 or 5 of them, you were able to drop in a first pitch breaking ball for a strike. Whatever that number is that you throw, whether it's 89 or 101, now it plays up a little bit in 0-0 counts because I don't know what you're going to throw now.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So, like,
Absolutely.
that becomes a difference. And when I think we've seen Paul get hit this year, weirdly, because I don't ever really say this much, but weirdly, there has been times this year where I felt like he's literally lived off of this thing too much.
Yeah.
And because he's so good at throwing strikes with it, you knew as a hitter, bro, if I just close my eyes and swing pretty hard, I might touch one of them. I might hit one.
And that was the other conversation that we had, right? He said, well, man, like Kentucky, everybody knows what Kentucky does, right? They're pesky at bats. They fight. They take pitches. They draw walks. I'm like, well, you can't do that if you're going to do that against Paul Skeens, you're going to strike out 18 times because he's around the zone. He doesn't walk a ton of guys, and he's got elite fastball. So you got to be overly aggressive. And I think over the last month, you've seen Paul see that early on, and he's still going to be majority fastball.
Of course.
But not as many fastballs early in counts or when you think of fastballs coming. You're seeing him flip over the breaking ball, his slider, or his curveball.
You may no longer get the 0-2 breaking ball. You may get the 0-0 breaking ball within 2 years.
Right. So, like, if he's 75% fastball, he may be 70% fastball or 75% fastball, but you're going to get them in a different – you're not going to get all fastballs in a row and then breaking ball after. You're going to get a mix, but still majority fastball, which it should be.
Yeah.
Right? And I think, to me, one of the best pitches he throws is that front hip two-seam fastball to lefties that's 97 to 99 miles an hour, which is nuts. But you see that, and like if you can locate that fastball off the front hip of a lefty, right? So if the lefty's up at the plate right here, right? Like he is literally sitting here and he's thinking everything's going to be away or he's looking for that four-seam fastball, and you come in on the front hip with that two-seamer and it comes back in over the plate, I mean, you're a lefty. That's almost impossible to hit if you locate it the right way.
No, it is. It's great. Now, I haven't really seen him use it that much to that side of the plate with righties. But
Right.
it works the same way with righties. Like, you throw that same pitch, envisioning that
Like
there's
the
a
back
lefty
door.
there. Out of the hand to a righty,
Ball.
that thing seems like it's in the dugout. Like, I'm not offering it that. And when it runs back, it's you can't touch it because
Right.
you've given up on it already.
Right.
So, like, yeah, when he's throwing it to lefties, which he's done a lot, I think if he was able to, use that same pitch against righties, it's just as effective. But to your question, I feel like the only thing I've ever really seen over the course of my career or being around baseball is if you have whatever it is that's on the mound, whether it's 101 or 89 on the mound, if that guy gets hit hard and he's throwing strikes with that pitch and maybe other pitches, as a coach, it's probably a smart idea to not bring a similar look in behind it. You get what I'm saying? But when I set up but that's also the thing that when I set up my rotation, usually unless you got a guy that's got just absolutely ridiculous extreme pitchability and feel for 3 pitches, even though he doesn't have great velo, I'm looking for the best stuff that I could probably get to stretch out and do it for over a course of time. Which means I'm probably in an ideal situation, unless I got lefty, righty, this and that. I'm probably looking for guys that are 95 plus.
Right.
I'm probably looking for guys with a wipeout slider.
Right.
And they might have to come from the same arm slide. It just is what it is.
And look, as a opposing team, right? You're outside of scoring runs, right? Your number one goal is to make the starter uncomfortable, shorten his outing, and get to the bullpen as early as possible, right? Like that is what you want to do as an offense, right? So if a pitcher, Ty Floyd, Thatcher, Paul Skeens, says, okay, I'm going to flip the script and I'm going to pitch against what I've been doing because they're not good at doing the other thing, the offense is already winning. Yeah. Because the offense is putting the pitcher in a position where he's a little bit more uncomfortable than he should have been because now he's changing the way he's attacking their lineup. And so that's already a leg up for the offense. And now, okay, let's just battle this guy and make sure that we put him in a position where he's throwing a bunch of pitches, get him behind in counts, and get us in more advantageous hitter counts. And so going back to what your question was, I'm not saying it was your question that you were posed. Somebody posed it to you. I don't think that you change the way you approach attacking the lineup beforehand.
No.
Right?
And the reason why you don't, because if I'm being completely honest, if I switch it around to the other side, let's just say in a world that says I don't think this is going to happen. I'm just saying if it happened this way. If it was Skeens, Ty Floyd, Thatcher Hurd that threw this weekend, as a offense, Mikey could tell you right now, it's the thought process is if they're on, as an offense, hey bro, strap it the fuck on this weekend.
Yeah.
Because if they're on, it's gonna be a bitch. It's not gonna be very easy.
Right.
Right. And your best chance is how quick can we get them off the mound if they're on. Like that's your mindset anyway. So it's not even if guys like that are throwing well and you know they have good stuff, elite stuff, and you know that hey, it's me versus you. It's not like oh it's gonna be a walk in the park or I know I can. You're hoping hey how can we get him out of here quickly?
Right.
Quickly.
And for me, it's like we want to talk about the rotation. How is rotation going to be set up, right? Everybody wants to talk about pitching. I think the pitching has been very good over the last month, right? In particular, the 3 weeks. I think the SEC tournament, the bullpen threw really well. Yeah, LSU went 1-2, but both games were one-run games. It wasn't like they gave up a ton of runs. Like, I think they pitched really well. I think they threw extremely well last weekend, right? You get the Paul Skeens 9-inning game. You have the rain out. You had a bunch of delays, and the pitching staff put you in a position to really dominate the regional. Like, no game was real. Like, I mean, one game was close, but, you know, other than that, you pretty much dominated. Yeah. And so I think the bullpen has thrown really well. I think the starting pitching has thrown really well. Obviously, Thatcher is the big key because if he continues to pitch like that, he's got the second most talent on the team behind Skeens as far as arms go. And if I were drawing this thing up, obviously Skeens is going to start tomorrow. You want Skeens to do what he's been doing all year. Like, just whatever you're going to do, you go ahead and do it. I think Ty Floyd starts game 2. I really do. I think Ty Floyd starts game 2. I think he goes out and he pitches the way he's been pitching. Hopefully he gets you through 6-7 innings. But if the game is if LSU's up by 1, 2, 3 runs in the 6th inning, in the 7th inning, I would not be shocked to see Thatcher come back behind him and piggyback it in the game. So you know what? We're going to go ahead and get them all 2 games.
That's a weird thing for me, man, because I'm very, very interested to see what he does with Thatcher this weekend. Just in a sense, like if he goes, let's just say Skeens goes 6 1/3 tomorrow. Are you wanting, and you're up,
are you gonna throw,
and you're up. Are you wanting to bring him in knowing that you probably still want Gavin to end the game? Like if it's a decently close game, are you wanting to bring him in and you want Gavin to close the game? Because not that you're burning him, but with the momentum that he's gotten, can you name me a time recently or that he's thrown twice over a weekend?
Who?
Thatcher.
Oh, no.
So my point is like, I'm not saying he can't, right? But like, this would be the first time he's done it. I don't know all year, but like for a while, right? So my point is would you want to burn him in that situation where you don't know what you're getting second time around? If you need him in another spot this weekend, which I would imagine you probably would, if you only get Skeens to go 6 1/3 or whatever it is, however it goes. I'm very interested to see what he does with Thatcher if you don't get 7+, or you're not up 5+ by the time Skeens is done on the mound tomorrow afternoon.
I mean, you look at the first time LSU played Kentucky, Skeens went 6 innings.
You didn't need him, though, at that time.
Right, you didn't need him. The game was in the balance. He struck out 13, right? So, yeah, if he goes 6, what's going to happen? I also think that let's say he doesn't throw on Friday or on Saturday, right? Let's say Thatcher
doesn't.
Let's say Thatcher does not throw. Let's say, Skeens does his deal, takes care of business, and they finish the game out, maybe 2-3 innings with the bullpen. They win the game, move on to Sunday. Let's say Ty Floyd throws on Sunday. He does the normal Ty Floyd start, 5-6 innings, 7 innings, maybe getting into the 7th. Let's just say he goes into the 6th, 5 2/3, right? And LSU is up by 6 runs. Let's just say LSU's up by 6. They're just banging, right? I still think they finish the game with Thatcher, and here's why. I think they say, okay, we're going to piggyback Thatcher off of this guy because.
But wait, are you saying that there is a win on Saturday or a loss on Saturday?
No, I'm saying that they won on Saturday.
So all right.
LSU wins on Saturday. They go to Sunday, and let's say
then because you get a chance to end the game,
you want him to get his work in,
and you get a chance to end the series, right?
For sure,
100%,
for sure.
What if? No, I'm just posing because we're just thinking about situations, and I feel like we can talk about it because I know for a fact in that building it's been talked about among the coaching staff, right? What if they lose on Saturday? And you get the exact same situation you're saying right now, where Ty has gone
6 innings.
They're
up by 6.
5 2/3, and they were up 5+.
I think they don't throw Thatcher.
I think so too. Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. I think that, but I do think that if the game is tight and we're winning,
what if what if at that point it is? Yeah, I think if they're up 5+, if they're up 4 or less, if they are tied, if they are down by 2, I think you still get Thatcher.
You got to win
Saturday.
that game. If you lose that first one, you got to win that second one. But if you have a big lead and you think the game's you're going to win it, you throw him anyway. If you win that other game, or what was the other thing I said? He's not going to throw.
If you've
lost the first game and you're up by like 5 or 6 in this game, you don't throw him.
No. If you lost the first game and you're up by like 5 or that's just right.
Yeah, you don't throw him. I think that if you have the ability, if you lose the first one, you have the ability to win the second one. You hold them for the third game. If you have the ability to end the series game 2, you pitch them and throw it.
Now, all right, now let's flip it around. Because it's interesting how they've used him lately. What if you win the first game and Ty goes, I don't know, let's say Ty goes 7 1/3. And we got a tie ball game or a 1-run ball game. Do you use him there?
That is a good point because now
do you want to waste him? Do you want to waste him there? Because you'd have to throw him on back-to-backs there, and I'm not sure what you get out of him.
I guess that would depend on who threw to end the game on Saturday.
I think here's what I do think happens. I think if they win on Saturday, I think any sign of trouble with a lead, you may see Thatcher get hot.
On Saturday?
On Sunday.
On Sunday, okay.
I think any sign, like I'm talking 3 1/3, you're up 3, and somehow there's 2 runners on and 1 out.
Is this predicated on a win or a loss on Saturday? Does it matter?
Win on Saturday.
A win. I'm with you.
In a sense of,
I agree with you.
Because if we're going to throw them today, let's get it. You know what I mean? Like, I just think I wouldn't be surprised that something like that would happen at all.
I agree.
Any sign of trouble, I wouldn't be surprised if you see him up and going.
I agree 100%. 100%.
Y'all are all predicating this off of a Saturday win, it feels like.
No, we're not all.
No,
we talked about some different
lost,
scenarios around.
But the Saturday win feels like it's also predicated off of Skeens throwing.
I feel like, I feel like when it comes to Thatcher, if he's not going to start a game, that him throwing outside of
it's like an extended reliever.
Him throwing on Sunday is going to come largely off of a Saturday win. I feel like there's a very, very, very like tight
you have
situation
to save him for game 3 if you lose the first one.
Yeah, like if there has to be a tight situation that you have a chance to that he'll throw on Saturday if they're losing, in a sense that if they lost the first game. Any situation actually if they lost the first game.
Well, that's what leads me to my question is, obviously we know where we are, Baton Rouge with the weather, and it's at a 50% chance for the afternoon. Does that sway your decision at all with Skeens? Because you saw what happened with Floyd for the second game, where everybody thought that would have been the Skeens game in the regional.
Okay, let me ask you this question: which weekend this year did we not see Skeens penciled in for game 1 of the series? In a 3-game series, obviously the weekend.
Right, and it's
Which-
only burned you once with I don't think he has not been the Friday night guy.
It hasn't.
Right.
Because my point is that's why like this is really
What you have him for.
No, like this is literally a souped up weekend series. That's really all it is at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like this isn't tournament style. This is a weekend series. We want game one.
You can't predict the weather.
No.
Well,
You can't.
Jay,
I mean, but you can't like
got a guy.
You can't say I'm not gonna start him this Saturday because it's supposed to rain, right? 50% chance of rain. And for those of you who don't know and not a meteorologist, aren't familiar with the weather, 50% chance of rain does not mean that there's a 50% chance of rain happening. That just means that there's 50% of the area getting rain, potentially getting rain. Doesn't mean 50% chance of it actually
Is it
raining.
raining?
That's not what that means. 50% chance of rain means 50% of the area has the potential.
It could be
Oh,
here.
getting rain.
It could be here.
Right.
It could be here. But
Right.
That's
So-
I'm not worried about the rain so much as what happened. Obviously, what you saw last
Yeah, you don't want him
weekend.
to start, you get stopped, and not be able to go back out. For sure. Absolutely. That's not what you want. Nobody wants that. But that's just something that you have to deal with. And I don't think that you can't predict that. Like I said, last week, Monday was not supposed to be any rain. I mean, there was supposed to be all rain. And there was 0 rain. Saturday and Sunday were supposed to be no rain. Ended up being a ton of rain. So you just
Not only
never
that,
know.
it's the lightning factor, which
Yeah.
is that throws the real wrench. Like rain is rain, you know. Like you
Right.
can feel that. Okay, obviously it's shit outside, but the way that they're doing the lightning delays with it's lightning in Ponchatoula, we have to
It's not
shut
7.
the
It's
game.
8 miles.
Yeah,
Is what it was, 8 miles away.
but I wonder if they rein that in a little bit because of the circumstance and
Well, I think it'll be harnessed in a little bit because of Jay will be the guy pushing on the umpires a little bit.
He had a quote that said, this is coming from today. He just met with the media. He's like, we will not start a game unless we have a window to play the game. So you might get.
Yeah, he literally.
Yeah, I'm not doing he's saying I'm not doing what we did last weekend.
And think about it. Well, not just last weekend too. Think about it. Go back to when they went to South Carolina.
That's the one I was thinking of. with the
If
scheme.
I am, obviously there has to be some sort of agreement between the two coaches. I'm pretty sure is how
They're
it
best
goes.
friends.
No. But it doesn't matter. Like I'm sure when they're making these decisions, there has to be some sort of agreement. But like in the middle of a season, if I'm in South Carolina and it's Friday night and I know, man, boy, if I want to win this series, boy, would I love to get Paul Skeens off the mound. And the umpires know we want to play, and we know we don't want to be here later, and we know we don't want to play 2 games on Sunday. I'm gonna put all the pressure on Jay to start the game. Hey, let's play. Because if I can get Skeens off the mound, I'm getting
No
him out of
doubt.
there.
No doubt.
Flip it around because we're at home. You got to travel. You don't want to do 2 of these. There's a lot of reasons why that push can be made from that side. Flip it around when you're at home and you're Jay. You're like, nah, dog. Like this is pretty
hold
much
on
my
the cards.
decision. I'm holding the cards, coach. We're not playing unless we got a window. I'm
No
letting you
doubt.
know straight
And that's
up.
how it should be.
And that's how it should
That's how
be.
it should be.
So
These games are too important to waste. Plus, not only is it important for them to win, but like people are going there like for the game of actual college baseball, right? People are going to be tuned in. People are going to go to the game. People are coming to watch the game from maybe that aren't LSU fans because they want to get a glimpse of Paul Skeens pitching in college baseball because he's going to be in Major League Baseball. He's going to be a star in Major League Baseball. He's a guy that everybody wants to watch pitch. So for the game of baseball and as far as growing that goes, I think it's important to make sure that he does get out there and pitch.
yeah.
And without having to say, oh, we're going to – now, like I said, you can't control everything. We're not in a dome. There's no – there's some factors to it. But if you can try – if you can do your hardest to make sure that he is on the mound, I don't care if they have to play the game at 9 p.m. Like, you play it when he can pitch.
And that's just the only. That's the rub, right? Is because you have such a generational type starter that it means so much for the game to not be delayed. If it was, obviously you saw the way they handled it with Ty Floyd and Thatcher Hurd, like you feel okay there, you know, like okay, we have another guy. But because of the way Skeens has pitched this year and the way he's been able to, almost,
I mean,
when he's on the mound, you feel very good about it.
Truthfully, we're sensationalizing Paul, and we should be because he is that good. But if I know I have an ace, I would literally say there is no debate that Aaron Nola, when he was here, is an ace.
Right.
Did you think Aaron Nola was like a generational, like, oh my God, I haven't seen this before? Not really. Maybe some of the way he went about it,
His
like
control, yeah.
his control. Oh my God, he's out here in the 9th inning again. Yeah, but when you just literally just saw him throw the ball, it didn't come out at 101. You were like, I've never seen this before. So like we're sensationalizing what Paul has done, but realistically, if I have an ace, which means that if he throws and he throws 5+, there's a large possibility that I'm gonna win the game. I'm doing everything I can to make sure he throws. And throws more than 2 innings.
Right.
Throws more than 3 innings. You get what I'm saying? So, like, it's not really just around a Paul Schemes.
It's
Yeah,
an
that's
ace.
great.
It's ace strategy.
But it's an ace, bro. Like, if I got an ace, yes. I need him to be out there. I can't burn aces. Just that simple.
Can't burn aces.
No.
They hold the cards.
No.
You gotta have the aces.
Imagine you playing a playoff game and Justin Verlander throws 2 innings. Coach, that ain't what we wanted.
Right.
No,
Right.
Justin Verlander got to be out there for 6. And we ain't starting unless I know there's a chance of that. It's
sure.
really that simple.
And moving, like, trying to get to the preview of the weekend, right?
Absolutely.
Like, this is everybody's like, oh, he played Kentucky already. You already beat him 2 out of 3, and you lost the game that you probably shouldn't have lost. A little fluky 1-inning deal. No. That was 5-6 weeks ago. I was what, beginning of April, so 2 months almost. That's a long time for teams to kind of figure some stuff out. I mean, way we were playing 2 months to where we were playing a month after that to how LSU's playing now is different, right? Like, guys get better, guys get worse, guys get hurt, guys are a little banged up, arms are hanging a little bit. Things are a little different. Now you're in the postseason, so things are magnified. So to think that, Kentucky's the same team, that is not completely true. Yeah, they're going to play small ball. They're not going to hit a ton of homers. They're going to move guys over. They're going to steal bases. They're going to have tough at-bats. They're going to do all of those things that they did. They're going to be pesky at the plate. They're going to do all of those things, yes, still. But the rotation's always changing, right?
Yeah.
Like, the same 3 guys that started against LSU the first series probably aren't going to start.
Yeah, all those guys came out the pen against LSU.
What do you mean? All the guys that
That
probably
start
gonna,
now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
And so, like, I was going through from that series on, and like, they've had 6 different guys start through games, right? Some guys have gone 6, some guys have gone 7, some guys have gone inning and 2/3. Like, it hasn't been very consistent in their rotation. Now, I would imagine that the rotation is going to be changed a little bit than what it was last time because they did give up a ton of runs to LSU.
Yeah.
But I think that they're gonna be a different looking team. Look,
Well,
last weekend they swung it a lot better. They hit from pop last weekend than they had the whole season before. Right? They scored a bunch more runs after they had lost the losers bracket game.
Everybody was staying in apartment complexes.
Yeah, true.
Well, I mean,
Country was in
Bad
town.
backs.
you could also think of it
Springs
this
in
way.
the
too.
back.
If we're sitting here saying that there's only 16 college baseball teams still playing, right? And all I got to do is win 2 games to get to Omaha. Realistically speaking, I think anybody in the game of baseball, right, would say, man, you could bring in the National League All-Star team this weekend. If we could just find a way to scratch across a couple runs, maybe keep you in the ballpark, we got a chance.
Yep.
We made it this far, right? There's no mistake of making it here. So I do think it doesn't matter who they played earlier. They're here, and they realize there's only 2 more that needs to be won. That's a different team. That in itself is a different team than thinking like this is April and you got a whole schedule in front of you, and we've only played the nobodies of the season so far, so we don't know how good we are.
Tinkering.
No, we like in their mind right now is we're a good team and we belong here, and we only got to win 2 more to get out of here and get to Middle America.
Well, that's the other thing. Middle America.
Middle America is awesome. Tattoo.
Beginning of April, Kentucky was still in the people have still the thought process. All right, is Kentucky really real? Like, are they really that good? Are they really, a top 10 team in the country? Are they really potential national seed? Are they? Like, there's still a lot of questions. They come to LSU, and after that first game, I'm like, I don't think they're that good. And they beat them on Saturday, and then the Sunday game ends up being tight, and they win that game. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe so. And then they keep going and they keep playing. I'm like, all right, Kentucky's pretty good. I don't think there's questions now on like, are they good enough to be here? I think they are. They've proven that they're good enough to be here. and they're here. Luckily for LSU, they're at home. They get to play at home against the team that they are familiar with. But you got to go out there and win.
I would say the scariest thing in any team, it really doesn't matter who you're playing, is a team that like understands who they are and they play to that game, right? Call me old guy or whatever, but if I go back to 2009 and you brought, or 08 and you brought UC Irvine in here, did you think that UC Irvine was like up and down as talented as we were? No. But they knew who they were and they knew what game they were trying to
Good
play.
comparison.
They were very okay with scoring 1 run an inning and then maybe popping a 2-run single, and next thing you know, you look up in the 5th and they've got 6 hits and they're up 6-2, and you're like, how the hell did this happen? Because we're playing for the big inning and they're playing for one an inning. That's all they care about. Yep. They'll move them. Get them on, move them, and we'll get you in. So my point about Kentucky is like, do I think that they're supremely talented like a lot of other teams? No, but like they've been up, they've been great where they've scored a lot of runs and they've won a lot of games, and then they went through their little bit of a rut and they somehow still made it here. So to me, that's the sign of a team that knows who they are and they're comfortable with who they are. That's a scary team, man.
Right, and
it's
look, they're going to put a
game.
ton of pressure on the defense. Right, that's just what they're going to do. They're going to play small ball. They're going to hit ball. They're going to put a lot more balls. They're going to try to put a lot more balls in play. Obviously, you know, we talked about how good they swung it, how well they swung it against Skeens the first start. Skeens still struck out 13 in 6 innings, right? Like he still was able to get his strikeouts, but they're going to go and they're going to battle. They're going to put some balls in play. They're going to make the defense play behind the pitcher. They're going to try to bunt guys over, and you're going to have to make the normal play, right? You just have to make the plays that you need to make. Don't worry about making the spectacular play. One thing Maneri always did and always said, I'm not saying it was necessarily the right thing, but it also allowed you to limit some of those catastrophic mistakes. And what he said was, if a guy is going to give you an out,
Take it.
Take the out. Don't worry about trying to get the guy at second base. Don't worry about trying to get the guy at third base. Give me the sure out. We'll figure that out.
Stop trying to make the extraordinary play. Let's just get this out.
Right. Now, if the guy bunts it super hard and you almost feel like a ground ball and it's an easy gather feet, throw it to second, that's one thing, right? But
the bang plays, we ain't got time for that.
Like, I'd rather you get this guy out and let the guy on the mound worry about trying to limit the runs. Or
and
whatever.
I'm with that too. Even
Me
like
too.
you go all the way to Major League Baseball. How often do you see on highlights that stuff happens, man? Where it's supposed to be a bang play, we're trying to make a throw sidearm or off balance, and you throwing it to a bag, and that thing ends up in the left field fence.
Right.
And they're scoring runs, and people are just running around the bases.
The only times that you see someone try to get that lead runner on a bunt or whatever is if, okay, the guy bunted the ball super hard, the pitcher is already moving that way, he's got the easier throw instead of having the wheel and turn. Or he bunts it super hard, the first baseman crashed hard, boom, that's the easy throw for him instead of catching it, turning around, and flipping it, right? Or
where's your
versa,
momentum
third
taking
baseman,
you?
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like they let the game play itself out. Yeah. But that's just part of Kentucky's thing. They're gonna put the pressure on you. They're gonna try to play really good defense, and they're gonna make you make the mistakes, and you're gonna give them the runs. And so, luckily for LSU, they have really both teams. LSU's played Kentucky, so they're ready for that. Kentucky has played LSU, and that's the other thing, right? They've seen Kentucky's seen all LSU's arms.
I'm thinking about this, and now like the more I think, I spoke about it before, but we forget that the first time they came here, they were up huge, really early, right? That Friday night when Skeens threw, they were up huge. LSU was.
Yeah.
And then the end of the game ended up going high when the numbers didn't look like it did, but they were up huge. And the rest of the weekend, Kentucky played a lot of small ball. What did you see LSU do last Friday against Tulane?
Yeah.
They played a ton of small ball. Don't be surprised if come Saturday afternoon you see two bunting ass teams.
Don't get mad.
Don't be surprised
I
if
don't
you
like
see
it,
it.
but-
It's not my preference, but I do think that Jay sees how important these games are and how much runs are at a premium, especially when you got Paul on the mound, and how much you feel like if you play with a lead, you pretty much win with him on the mound, right? Don't be surprised if you see them bunting their ass off. And obviously, if the game doesn't get out of hand like it did early against Kentucky that Friday night if you see Kentucky from the start putting bunts down, trying to move dudes, doing all kind of stuff.
Well, here's the other thing: is like they made you bunt them over, right? Tulane, they sacked early in the game. They played some small ball, got them over, and they were doing the Kentucky thing where they're hitting the sack fly or getting the ground out and scoring runs, which is very productive and that's very good baseball. Like that's things that need to be that need to be done every game. The guy's on third base with less than 2 outs, get him in any way you can, whether that be a sacrifice fly, whether that be a ground out to the second baseman, whatever, get him in. Right now, if LSU starts to do that and starts butting him over, instead of having that sac fly, they have that double in the gap, and now you're scoring 2 runs instead of getting that 1 run and giving up an out. You can see the game go away, and that's where small ball comes into play. If you have the guys that behind you are, okay, you are getting them over, now I can drive the balls out of the ballpark or in the gap and drive in a couple runs, as opposed to saying, okay, I'm just going to get a ground out outs. Now, those are all good. Those are all winning baseball plays, but you want to see LSU do what they did the last game against Oregon State. Guys in scoring position, boom, hit balls in the gap, hit home runs. I know they hit a ton of home runs against Oregon State the last 2 games, but they were also hitting the first game, a lot of solos. The next game, scored a bunch of runs because they were able to drive guys in.
Yeah. No, I mean, I agree. I'm just, when it comes to Skeens at this point of the year, it's hard for me to believe that Jay said because...
I'm glad you put that up there. Sorry.
It's hard for me to believe that Jay said because, we didn't swing it and drive guys in the SEC tournament that I'm going to come out and that's the reason why I'm bunting. It was a 3-game sample. I don't really think that that's why he did it against Skeens, with Skeens on the mound in the start of the regional. So I wouldn't be surprised if I saw it again this weekend.
Right. The reason why I kind of reacted the way I reacted is Lloyd put the Duke-Virginia game on TV. Virginia is a top 8 national seed. They're 7th overall seed, playing at home. When we started the show, Duke was losing 4-3 going into the top of the 7th. Now, Duke is now winning 5-4 in the top of the 9th. So they must have scored. I don't know if they scored him in this inning. I guess it was this inning. This guy's got. Well, I don't know how long this pitcher's been in. It was either the 8th or the 9th. They scored all the runs, the 2 more runs to take the lead. Ooh. But they're still hitting in the top of the 9th to be able to put some more insurance.
Nobody out.
Speed insurance. You want me to give me my own little thing?
No, I think that
appreciate it.
just
If you're
feels
looking
right.
for some insurance,
It just feels right.
No home and auto. We don't do any. We do home and auto. If you want home and auto, I can refer you to somebody in our office. I don't do them personally, but if you have businesses and you have a lot of insurance that you write with your business, give me an opportunity to show you what we can do. We're very good at what we do. We have a big company. We have a lot of resources behind us. We get pretty creative in trying to create an insurance program for you that's most beneficial for your company and for what y'all need, not for what the market is.
It's not for us. It's for you.
Yeah. Come and help us. Let me be partners. Assured partners. Let's be partners with you.
Partner with your partners.
You like that?
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for letting me give a little thing for
Assured partners. Frankie
Assured
Harris
partners.
and
me.
There you go.
There we go.
Do you see that stat for Virginia when they're leading after 7? 104-1 at home.
Wow.
And Duke scored 2 in the top of the 8th.
Top of the 8th. Virginia's always good, man. They're always put themselves in a position to make runs. We had to play them in 2009. They're really good in 2009. They had probably, I think, 4 big leaguers on that team in 2009. One was the 2nd overall pick in Danny Holson. Unfortunately, Danny got hurt a bunch of times in pro ball, but he was good. He was a 2-way guy in college, but he got drafted as a pitcher.
Man, before injuries, he was about as sure of a sure thing as could be.
Super great dude, too.
Oh, the nicest dude, man.
Unbelievable
Assured
guy.
Partner.
Huh?
He's an assured partner.
He's an assured partner, yeah. Okay, so Virginia gets out of that inning. It's 5-4 going to the bottom of the 9th. This is good. This is a good start to Super Regional Baseball.
Oh, I'll bet.
This is a good start to Super Regional Baseball. I remember when we were watching in 2009, we had swept Rice, and so we had that next day. It was a Friday-Saturday series, so we had that Sunday off, which Saturday was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
we had a lot of fun on Saturday. But we were watching the next day. We were watching the Ole Miss game. Ole Miss was in the Supers. At this point in Ole Miss's history, they had not made it to Omaha ever. And they were in the Supers, and we were watching these games. And the same thing, Supers were very, very, very tight. They're closely contested. They were tough games. And I don't know who their second baseman was, but had a ground ball to him. And he threw the ball away. It would have been the 3rd out, and he threw the ball away, and a couple runs scored, and they ended up losing the series because of that. Not because of that, but I guess that was a big reason why, and not making it to Omaha. But you watch that as a player, it's like, oh man, because you're gonna be put in that same situation at some point. Yeah, in the postseason.
Make diamonds.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, and speaking of just while we were dealing, the assured partners, can I do an early curtain call? It just came in through the chat.
Sure.
Jay Johnson just paid for all the student section tickets, so they get in for free.
That's
I mean, can we make that's our team curtain call?
Team curtain call.
that's beautiful. That's lovely.
Wow,
I respect it.
boy, that right center field gap.
Oh,
Show up, baby. Like
Show
it's
up.
free.
you ain't
Hey,
have
look.
anything else. Just show
Coming
up.
out of the tailgate before. We'll
Absolutely.
Go ahead, drive in.
Show the ID when you
Hey,
show up
listen.
to the tent.
I know
We'll give you the right.
I know
we'll
you
give
went
that
home for the break. Come on in back in from Pierre Park. Let's go ahead and
Come
have you a
on,
good
baby.
time. It's free, baby.
Where else are you gonna be?
free.
It's summertime.
this
free.
just in, also free access to the tailgate.
Access
We're
to the
waiving
tailgate.
fee.
No
fee.
no money down. Show up.
90 days.
Yeah, MSRP, everything, right? Like, $3. We're going special.
Free 99.
You gotta show the ID though, because you gotta make sure that we're on the up and up and we don't get in trouble because we're
security will be
giving.
there, me.
Yep. We got
boy.
Lloyd's security.
Tell you what,
That's
if
some
Lloyd's
security.
security, that's going downhill real
Look at
quick.
this guy's beard.
God.
Oh, I mean, I will pat you down.
What do you think's in that thing?
Those drugs are
There's
for me
something
now.
definitely in there.
There's something in there. Okay, here we go. Top 9, Duke, Virginia. I mean, bottom 9. I don't know anybody on the team except for Gio. So Talon is the guy pitching. He's a lefty. That's all I got for you.
Coming out the dugout.
Trying to come hard in, 92.
Got a little substance?
Got 2 balls to him. 2-0 count with number 7 for Virginia. Henry
God, boy.
Godbout.
Come out.
Godbout.
Boy, Henry's
Henry's in a good spot.
That's about
right
as
now.
old school of a batting
Boy.
stance as it gets right there. Huh?
You don't want the 2-0, huh? Down the middle?
Like if you played the show right there, that's the generic 6.
What?
Generic 6. Yeah.
That's it. He's got the generic 6 right there.
We used to have. That's a strike. Should be a strike.
That's it.
We
It's
used to have
definitely
a
the top of the
guy.
zone.
We have a guy.
Line
on
up
our
your
team.
knuckles. Put your foot down. Swing real hard.
We had a guy on our team. He's a catcher when I was playing in Detroit. Alex Avila, great dude.
Great dude.
Went to Alabama. Great dude. And
Henry.
Alex Avila at the time. Now this was 2017, so it was relatively like still where you can get flashy cleats and you can get good stuff. Alex Avila had the all black Nikes with the white Nike check, like as stock standard as you can get. And I always give him a hard time, like, bro, you had to call Nike and get those things custom made for you. Like, there's no way
Those are
Nike's making these
discontinued.
all
Like,
black.
They're not still making them.
Yeah, like they either have
Dicks?
they have a shelf
hadn't
just
been
for you,
used.
just for you, or you're calling them and you're saying, hey, give me the all whites, but I want them all black instead with the white check. Like that's stock.
I did hear that's exactly how. Just about right. That's exactly how Kershaw got to using Skechers. Nike no longer made the cleat that he used to use and that he was comfortable with, and so Skechers kind of like approached him, and he was like, "Oh, let's try some." Tried them. He's like, "Yeah, I like these. So
Take the-
I'm gonna use these."
Take this cleat, make it again.
That's funny.
Like, nah, I don't want these. Nike don't make the one that I love. Nope, no more.
That's a strike.
Give me the Skechers.
Boy, this guy's filling it up. Got the first guy to ground out to third base, a little 5-3 to start the inning. 1-1 count. Talon must be their closer because he's kind of slinging this thing.
He's nasty, but he comes in with righty, something. So he's got to be like,
He's got to be their guy.
got to be their closing, got to be very good.
But he's throwing 90. He's 92, 95, lefty. Fills up the zone, throws a bunch of strikes.
I think Joe Oliva's there.
Wow, I forgot that he was there.
Yeah, well,
I have
his
some.
performance there wasn't.
Me and Jerry got some Duke stories for you, Lloyd, off air.
Oh, yeah. Hang out with the lacrosse team?
No,
No.
no. You'll enjoy the story that we have for you, though.
Yes.
Inside baseball. We do have a couple questions if you want to get
Yeah,
to them.
of course.
Yeah, while we're going.
All right.
Oh,
Did he?
oh.
He didn't. He got jammed a little bit.
That's a tiny fence.
That is a small field.
Got on them hands a little bit. Them
Got
boys
it
is
there. Look
taller
at
than
Gio
the
in
wall.
center. Two outs.
You got heartburn?
Duke's playing good baseball, man. Good for Gio too.
Oh.
Good for Gio. He didn't sign until he was in the portal. He didn't sign until late in like January, whenever it was.
I don't know if he's going to play again.
And and then he's there now. He's their starting center fielder. He's having big moments for them. Like he's about to go to Omaha. This is good for him.
Yeah.
Call
say
it
about to
early.
go to Omaha.
Yeah. Woo.
Has a chance to go to Omaha.
Love that.
Oh,
love
get
that
in those-
Virginia.
Oh no.
Well, that's a tough play.
Oh no.
Eat it.
Nah.
Great play. Great play.
That catcher was
That's almost never an out in college baseball because everybody runs hard out the box.
Yeah, right.
In big league
For your
baseball,
life.
that's an out a lot. That's on top 10 plays. Somebody's out right there.
I mean, this guy did everything he could do.
I mean, he
One
cut
hop.
down the distance. He didn't
Yeah.
even feel. He fielded it in the dirt still.
Did
Guy was
everything he
still
could
guy was still safe by 3 steps.
do. Yep. Guy looks like he can run though. Guy can move a little bit.
All right, first one up.
Yep.
Paul Zarang. Ask Mikey and Mitch. Our lineup is awesome. Do you think Tank's slight struggle last weekend stemmed from the shakeup in the lineup, possibly allowing teams to have a choice to pitch to Tommy or not?
No.
No.
I don't think that had anything to do with him just not. I think it's just one of those things. He just wasn't seeing the ball well last weekend. I think you're going to see him make obviously the adjustments.
I think that
On the
single
side
might
note,
get
this is
him
not
going.
the guy this guy wants to face, even though he's lefty. This it looks like their best hitter, but
Yeah, I would imagine if I'm Kentucky and we sit down and we go through the scouting report and we flash his numbers on the year, we see what he's done on the year. We're not going to sit there and say, oh yeah, he's a guy we can attack. Now I would imagine also that they probably looked at every single pitch that he saw last week and being that they saw what he did, and they're like, how can we somewhat duplicate this? That's what I would imagine will happen. But I don't think they feel good about him stepping to the plate.
No. And look, do I think he's going to keep swinging at pitches over his head? No. It was just one. He obviously wasn't seeing the ball. He didn't feel comfortable in the box last weekend.
They don't either, but I guarantee you they throw one up there.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. They should.
I think a
Prove
lot
to
of
me
it.
that you're not going to swing at it.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it was this may be just me being a pedestrian watching baseball, but kind of felt like he wanted to get in on the party, where everybody's hitting solo
We
shots.
started pressing for sure.
Yeah, and then he sees what's going on. He's like, this is kind of my role, and so he wants to press to get in on the fun a little bit, and then I think he struck out on that.
I think I think you're right. I think there's always somewhat of that feel too, but watching him kind of do stuff that was super uncharacteristic, like you haven't seen him do that like all year. Something was a little off. Hopefully, it's been tinkered with and fixed.
Well, he just didn't feel comfortable. Sometimes it's just simple
maybe
as
a
that.
long layoff.
Yep.
Needed rest.
You got it.
You got it.
You got
that
one?
rest.
I just sit in the dugout.
What are we talking about? I'm not.
I'm now.
Hey, throw the ball over the plate, man. You're in a good
Get
spot.
it. You got 2 outs. Get
Hey,
us out of here.
remember what you did those first 3 hitters? Keep doing that.
Keep doing it.
All right,
Listen.
set the scene. Virginia.
Hopefully, the next ground ball that doesn't leave the infield, we can shake hands and be done with.
Virginia is bottom of the ninth, 2 outs. Runners on first and second. Virginia's up to bat. Duke is winning 5-4, and that's where we're at right now. Pitch mound visit with the pitching coach, with I'm assuming their closers on the mound. So
This fake enthusiasm by Duke.
What else you got, Lloyd?
I got another one for you, and it's a pressing question because I feel like it's something that will probably be addressed, and I feel like we know the answer, but it is something that should be asked. Ask him what's more valuable this weekend, Hayden's power at the plate or Milazzo's defense behind the plate against a small ball team like Kentucky, or do you bench Veloso, Hayden to DH, Milazzo
no,
at
don't
catcher?
can't bench Veloso.
No.
Can't bench Veloso. Veloso's hitting.
It's in like
People
370.
forget just because it's Beloso and like he is,
And how long he's been here.
right? Like you forget. And like
Team dad.
about 3 weeks ago, did he pop it up? Did he keep him in play?
That's outta here.
That's in play at Alex
Did he
Fox.
do
Oh!
Oh! Doink him on the back? Come on, cuz. I need you to move. cuz.
Oh, got
What are you
him.
doing right there?
But people forget
The camera
because
girl's like, you idiot.
3 weeks
Make a
ago,
play.
I think 3 weeks ago, maybe it was in Omaha. I mean, maybe it was in Hoover or the last series of the year. They looked at you saw his numbers and he was hitting like right at the 300 mark, right? Which is great. 300 with 10 or 11. You look at his average now; he's hitting 330 with 14. So
Fuck your shift.
that was not a strike. Okay, but that guy's in the lineup every day. So he's not coming out. Travinsky, I don't know how you take him out the lineup, right? And so, yeah, you're gonna have to.
Oh my God.
Oh! Did he rob that? Was that
He
going
didn't
to
really
the fence?
have to.
Over 4
No.
feet tall.
All right, so it's 2-1. Fastball elevated. This guy gets it a little bit. I thought he got it. Hits a high fly ball. It looks like it's going to be a walk-off 3-run home run. This guy's taking his shirt off. This guy's taking his shirt off. This guy's hyped. The left fielder goes all the way to the back of the wall, and the wall is looks like a 2 foot wall, like the old Camden Yards wall.
Looks like
where
the
you
old
could,
Omaha wall.
And so he's back there, and he catches the ball right at the wall. They haven't showed the replay yet. I don't know if the ball was going over the fence, if he doesn't catch it or not, but he catches it. They end the game. Duke wins first game of the Super Regional. He knew he didn't get it.
He didn't get it.
He knew he didn't get it. He knew he didn't get it. That's. Well, let's keep the helmet on though.
He knew he just barely missed.
Can we see other? Yeah.
Would you how to work for him?
Coach,
Oh,
it was
no.
it was
He
gonna
wa-
hit the bottom of the wall.
Yeah, it was
Bottom
gonna either
half-ish.
short hop it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't a homer. It was on a warning track.
That was a hold your breath.
Yeah, no doubt. I held my breath. I'm not even a fan of Duke. Wow, what a good for Duke. You know who's gonna be all over this? Stroman.
Yeah, 100%.
You see him do the little sodas.
Marcus Stroman and Mike Stud. It's not Mike Stud. It's just Mike now.
Oh,
100%. The team might get some beats.
Maybe, no doubt. No doubt. All right, we got another one.
Oh yeah, sorry. One more. Kirk Landry. Ask him and him. Are the hefty lefties a detriment due to Kentucky's propensity to bunt for singles? So
The hefty
ability
lefties?
for I'd imagine Ackenhouse and Cooper coming off the mound to field a bunt. They're more sneaky athletic.
Yeah, I don't think that has anything to do with it. Yeah, they're gonna bunt and they're gonna do it, but I think these guys they're
prepared.
capable enough to come off the mound and field their position.
Coach, I'm going to tell you what. I don't care who's on the mound. If they're that good at putting bunts down to where our pitchers are having to make the play constantly and they're having to make great plays, or you're probably going to be in trouble in those situations anyway. Simple as that.
Agreed.
Oh, a little promo from our guy Baton Rouge Raven. Bought some Heineken Silvers last night. They're great. If you like Heineken, you'll like these. Doesn't make you bloated. You can definitely tailgate with them, and you drink the whole 12-pack.
There we
I'm telling you,
go.
we've been trying to
That's
tell
what
you
we've been trying to
people.
say.
He had him a good night last night.
That's what
He
we've been trying
drank
to
12.
He
say.
said, at least 12.
We've been talking. That's what
The
we've
show
been
might have
talking
woke him
about.
up.
Absolutely. Obviously Duke's not. I don't think Duke was as highly rated coming into the postseason as Kentucky, but this is a cautionary tale. You're at home in the Super Regional. Like, these guys are playing good baseball. They're in the Supers for a reason. They're all playing good baseball. You're gonna have to go out there and take care of business. And Duke, look, it wasn't a bad game. Virginia had 2 errors. I don't know how many runs came.
Oh, they're harping on that.
I don't know how many runs. Oh, they are. You can hear it.
No, I would imagine if you're the coach.
I don't know how
that-
many runs those errors gave up.
Right.
Like, if they scored any runs because of those.
Might have gave up more pitches, though. So.
Yeah, right. And so, but 5-4 is good, well played ball game. Great start to Super Regionals. Great start.
And when you talk about Kentucky coming into the regional, do you put any hay in the barn considering how they approached coming into Alex Box the first time, where it was there was a lot of animosity, it felt like, between.
Oh, there's gonna be some chippiness, no doubt.
They were super chippy, and that's the vaunted Paul Skeens was like walking off the mound and turned around and said, "What'd you say to me?"
Yeah.
And so I think that is, if you want to give Paul Skeens a reason to get excited, that's probably pretty much. He doesn't need any motivation, but that would be a reason to be like, okay, like I can't wait to play Kentucky again.
No doubt. And I think there's gonna be that. I think that's, look, they scored 4 runs off of Skeens. So I know he knows that, and I think he's going to be very, very prepared, and he's going to be ready to go, and he knows that he can strike him out. He's done it, but I think he knows that I'm going to go make sure that I get deep into this game.
It's funny, though, man. Like, that's the type of thing. This is the one sport you got to really be careful with that stuff. Because when you put too much energy into that, it takes away from playing this game the right way. Like, this isn't football. I can't go tackle you harder. I can't do all those things like that, right? Like, this is the one sport where you got to be really careful of how much energy you put into stuff that takes away from literally what it is that you're trying to do. Yep. And
Try to overthrow,
right? So you don't want to be sitting here trying to, like, oh, I know what I did last time. Let me throw this one 102 and it's 202 131 to every hitter. You don't want to do it on the other way, where, like, I know how much they talked, so let me get in here and let me try to hit every ball 500 feet, and we're 0-2 in every count, swinging at balls that are not strikes and not good pitches. There's only so much you can put into that kind of stuff in this sport, and you got to be really careful about how much you actually play into stuff like that.
No doubt. And these boys having a good time.
That dovetails right into our next question.
Good old dovetail.
Landon Lewis. Ask Eminem. How many innings do starters get this weekend? Like,
how many innings do the starters get, per game?
So, like, talking about if you're trying to overthrow or Skeens tries to get, like, maybe too hyped, because obviously Super Regional already plays into that, the adrenaline factor. And
that's a hard prediction for the other ones. I think I'm going to go just with the Skeens start, because it's just too hard to – you just don't know what's going to happen with – I think Skeens throws 8.
I'm going to go 7 1/3.
I think he. I mean, yeah. Imagine going at least into the 8. I think Skeens. You get 8 innings from him. Hopefully the game's kind of out of hand and you get an easy finish to it. But I imagine, he's been pitching really well. He's coming off a 9-inning game last week. I think he can get to 8. If he gets to 8 innings, he may put himself in a position to
one more start,
break the strikeout record with one more start.
I'll say this: I think if you get 7 1/3 out of Skeens, I do think it's safe to say that all bets are off for the starters the rest of the weekend. In the sense of trouble, you may see it stirring.
Yeah, all hands on deck to
because
win
it's because if you get 7 1/3 in the win out of Skeens, we are trying to win at all costs without having to go to another 9-inning game. So in those situations, and then obviously if you were to lose Saturday after that, then it's winner keeps going, winner loser goes home. So I think if you get 7+ and a win out of Skeens tomorrow, all bets are off for whoever's throwing on Saturday.
Obviously, complete game is the perfect. That was the perfect recipe for what he did, throwing 124 pitches. I don't feel like he's on any sort of pitch count.
But they're not going to abuse it.
No,
they're not on a pitch count, but like he said,
Feel.
they're not going to abuse it. And it'd be interesting to see how he comes back out. He is one of those guys where it looks like it's so effortless when he's up there that you feel like he's built to continue doing stuff like that. Yeah. But you just don't know.
I mean, his last 3 pitches were 100 at 120, over
124.
Yeah, so he threw 100 miles an hour.
And the next day he's out there throwing footballs with the fans and stuff like that.
He's okay.
We'll see.
So
off that same point, if Skeens doesn't go a complete game, if he goes 8, 7 1/3, how early do you think they bring in Guidry? Is he
It depends on what the score is. Depends on the situation.
Once again, I think I've said it before, and I'm sticking to it because I truly do believe it. You got to remember, I get it, man. Like, he's young, he doesn't have mileage on it, right? But he didn't pick up the ball in the fall,
right?
Like what he's doing right now is awesome, but asking him to get 9 outs, asking him to get 7 outs, that's a lot. That's a lot.
Those are they're not just normal outs. It's not like you're getting 9 outs from the 3rd, 4th, and 5th. You're getting 9 outs from the 7th, 8th, and 9th, and like they're doing everything they can. Exactly.
I say if you could get 5 or less outs out of him, that's about what you need to be asking.
Ideally, I would like for him to have 1 up and down. Not even up and down.
Yeah.
I would like him to get up in the inning and
be done.
Go. Up and down basically is, hey, got out in the 8th, you go sit down, and you come back up again and throw the 9th. I would ideally just say, hey, give me to the 9th. This guy's going to pitch the 9th inning. Boom. End it.
I think anything over 5, you're asking for a ton.
Yeah.
You're asking for a large task out of not just him, honestly, anybody out of the bullpen outside of Thatcher. And it's not really because of Thatcher's stuff. It's because he has been extended. Like you expect. I'll say outside of Thatcher. I'm sorry. Outside of Thatcher, outside of Riley Cooper, outside of maybe Christian Little, even though he hasn't thrown in forever, he's probably fresh. Outside of that, you're asking for a lot. Out of a bullpen guy.
Yep.
So that's my real take on that kind of stuff.
And we did have. Hold on. Sorry, I had to pull that off the screen. We had one more question coming in. Oh, 2 more questions. Critical engineer again. And no prop here. Don't apologize. Is there a particular pitch to make the bunt a lot harder from y'all's experience? Like it's something that you can flip in, or whether it be a harder pitch to put pressure on the offense essentially.
Who's pitching? Coach, let me tell you what.
My whole thing is, if you're gonna show bunt early, throw elevated fastball, like top of the zone, so you have to get on top of it, and it's easier to pop it up. But
is there a particular pitch? You want to know a particular pitch? Let me ask you to put your nose behind 95 plus that might have movement. Right. See how much fun you enjoy bunting that. I think the heater, especially the elevated heater, is the toughest one. Yeah. Anything soft, you kind of feel like, I can either get out of the way or it's not. It doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
Get behind, put your nose behind 95 and see if you like doing that. Too. Yeah, see if you like doing that.
I had a bunt in 17. When I was in Detroit, we were playing in Seattle, and Edwin Diaz is pitching, coming in the back into the game.
Who wants to do that?
And I've been playing well. I've been swinging the bat pretty well, and so I'm hitting, and I get the bunt. And I'm like, all right. Actually, Austin tells me before I go on deck, hey, if this situation happens, you're gonna bunt. All right. Situation happened.
Shit.
I look at him. He looks at me. I'm like, all right, I'm a bunt. Edwin Diaz throws 100, like up part of the zone. I bunt it up in the air, catch it, don't get the guy over. I walk back in, sit down, and I'm like, damn, I fucked up. You know, like, gotta get that bunt down. Kenzer goes, no, you don't. You shouldn't even be fucking bunting right there. Who the fuck wants to bunt 100 miles an hour? Like, no, yeah, you wanted to get it done because you want to do the right thing, but like, it's hard to do. It's hard to bunt that guy. It's hard to bunt against that guy. I was like,
like, yeah,
Okay.
no, seriously. And even if, like, we put it, let me dumb it down to like the simplest of things. If I go in the cage right now and they put a machine on and I throw a breaking ball, which you know is not really going to hit you and move or whatever, or I just say, hey, let me turn this thing up as hard as it goes and throw it. That's the last thing you want to bunt. You're like, oh my God, it's an absolute missile.
ball hit me right
I
in
would
the
rather
face.
swing at it than
Yeah.
do this.
no doubt.
Yeah, so yeah, no. Bunting a heater. A hard heater. Hard heater at that. That's,
You got one
that's
more?
the
You
last
said
one
one
you
more
want.
question?
Yeah, one more. That's just. It's insane to think because people think bunting is easy.
Not easy.
And they're like, oh, just get the bunt down. And
Hey, if a guy was
The
throwing
actual
90
task
now,
of it is easy. Like
the
I said,
idea of it-
put your nose behind that and see how
Yeah.
much you want to do.
Yeah. And if you guys throwing 88, it's different. You guys throwing
Yeah.
98, okay.
That's not
You
fun.
then come talk to me.
I mean, it's insane. Especially with how hard guys throw now. Last one up from Landon Lewis. If you have more questions, feel free to send them in. Kind of a free flow Friday. Ask him and him. Does Floyd go 5 or more?
Weather permitting, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, he goes at least 5.
People aren't talking about him at all.
Look, it's just they get comfortable with him, and he hasn't done anything like extraordinary, but he's been good. He's been
Besides
good all year.
that one, what was that? Ole Miss?
He went to 9 innings.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like he's been good. Like he's gonna strike out
Yeah.
one, maybe a little bit more than one an inning right now. I think he's a big leaguer. I think he's gonna be in the big leagues. I think that he's gonna hone in on. He's gotten more consistent with his other pitches, and once he really takes that next step with his breaking ball, which it seems like he's starting to do, I think he's for sure in the big leagues. His fastball plays to everything that any analytic guy in professional baseball
100%.
wants.
Talk about hard to bunt.
Exactly.
Yep.
That's where LSU is kind of set up for this type of offense, whether it be however you want to look at it. But Floyd with that rising a little bit fastball, Skeens obviously throwing over 100. To y'all's point, clearly that's not the easiest thing that you want to get in front of.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And
Okay.
Floyd hasn't had his
He hadn't
coming
had a
out
breakout
party
yet.
at the box yet.
Right,
Like
he
you
hadn't
have
had a
that
breakout.
9 inning.
He hadn't had an inning, a game where he's gone, hey, 6 innings, 11 strikeouts, or in those games that he had a bunch of strikeouts early on, he ended up faltering in the 4th or the 5th, right, for one reason or another. So I wouldn't be shocked if he went out there and went 6, 7 innings and struck out
That'd be
12.
massive.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
And
He's
well
got the
rested.
ability to do it
Rested.
and rested. Yes.
That's true, too.
You got any more questions, or you want to move on to another topic, or
We can move
you want to
on.
do our segments, or what do you want to do?
Let's go to break, gather our thoughts.
Okay, let's do a break. Let's give some shout outs to our sponsors on
Absolutely.
break, right? Ask Mikey and Mitch. The special edition of Ask Mikey and Mitch is brought to you by our friends at EFCO Development. EFCO Development is a civil construction company based out of Lafayette, Louisiana. They are friends of our show, friends of the show, friends of us personally. They are a civil construction company, and they specialize in new multifamily construction.
Say with a little bit more enthusiasm.
They get the ground
Get the ground moving.
ready for you, right? They move the dirt. They specialize in site clearing. They specialize in drainage. They specialize in earthwork, house pads, ponds, anything that you need to do has anything involved with the ground. They are in charge of. If you're interested or you have a job that you would like them to come out and quote and look at, give them a call. Their number is 337-534-4675. Tell them that we sent you. I don't know if it's going to get you anything, but it's going to give us some goodwill, and it's going to allow them to continue to enjoy our show.
And just think
And
about
maybe they'll give you better service.
think
They
about
always
the
give great
idea.
service.
I mean,
They always give great service, but maybe they're going to, maybe they'll move some things around for you.
Partial love.
pull
Yeah.
out the golden shovel.
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing more exciting if you think about it than breaking ground. Just dude stuff.
There you go.
Dig a hole. Go to
Well,
the
dudes will
beach.
figure it out.
Yeah, well, dudes will figure it out. We need to make a shirt.
Yeah. You could get canceled for that. I don't know.
I don't know. Saturdays are for the boys.
Yeah, I
Dudes
know.
will figure it out.
Maybe. All right, we'll be back in 1 minute.
People want merch. That's all
I
people
know.
want.
I know. Okay, can we stop that? I'm working on it. Are you gonna?
line.
Maybe you can have. Are you gonna have a Heineken Silver for the game? Maybe.
I kind of want one now.
You gonna shotgun another one?
You want another? I don't know if you should shotgun because we saw how that went last time. You
I don't know.
won.
I feel like you got to redeem yourself.
I think so. If you have a drink, I don't think you should shotgun it.
The way
Okay,
it went,
I'll
I think
enjoy
you should,
this
I think
one.
you should chug it, but maybe not shotgun it.
the way it
Maybe
went
that.
last time, it's
Yeah, I can do. I mean, I
can't
can
sip
do
it.
anything. I know. All right, fuck it.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead. Go for it. There.
That was much
There you
better.
go.
1, 2,
Open it up a little bit. You know what I
4,
mean?
5, 6, 7, 8,
Okay.
9,
Okay. It's
10,
now it's starting to drip. Now
11,
you're struggling a little bit.
12,
It's pretty good.
13. It's not bad.
I'll give you
Not
a 12 and a half seconds there. How was it? Was it good?
Delicious. You
It was
can't
very
do that
With a regular one.
with a regular one.
Right.
You can only do that with the silver.
The silver, why? Because the silver's lighter. It's got
Lighter.
95 calories. It's pretty crisp.
I res-
That wasn't even cold. I know you don't necessarily need a cold beer. That was room temp.
That's
But
the
I respect how
fraternity days
quickly
to
you
me.
turned around and gave me a full sentence. That was quick.
Oh yeah,
that.
No
officer,
doubt.
I'm fine.
You've been looking. You've been
Walk the
around
straight
before.
line, kid.
Yeah,
You've been around before, but
it's just breakfast.
it's a very good beer. It's a
is.
very light beer. It's something that you could
Easy to drink.
easy to drink,
Easy to pour.
Yeah. But it's something that I think it should be in the rotation at tailgates, especially with LSU baseball coming up. We'll get into some of the LSU baseball conversation. Dozy Place is located on 3723 Government Street. Everybody knows about their world famous steaks and their hot tamales, but what you may not know is that they're open for lunch every day from 11 to 2. Great people, great environment. Their lunch menu is fire. What's the best thing on the menu?
If you haven't tried it yet, you need to try the burger. Unbelievable. Best burger in town.
Best burger in town. If you're looking for lunch, 11 to 2 at Dozy Place. Again, they're located on 3723 Government Street. Give them a shot. Welcome back to Mik'd Up. I'm just trying to talk Lloyd out of becoming anorexic, I think. I don't know. Yeah, or it's one way or the other. I don't know where you want to go.
I don't know if I want to bulk.
He said, man, I don't think that I can ever change my body the way it looks. I'm like, no, me and Jared, no, you can. You just don't want to do it. It's hard work. You just don't want to do it,
I do the hard work. At 45.
No, that's not the hard work.
What?
The hard work is understanding, hey, I'm going to do this over and over and over again, and I'm going to make sure that I'm eating better so that I understand, like, what I'm trying to do.
You know, they say you do ordinary things extraordinarily.
It's that little bit of extra.
You know,
It makes you extraordinary.
with just an insane amount of consistency. That whole thing.
That's what they say.
That's all it is.
Take a cold, I'm going to start doing a cold plunge for like 3
Wait,
hours.
I do have a question.
It's not that
I
ordinary.
do have a question because this
Turn
would
the hot
be
water off.
this would be pretty detrimental to the team, I feel like. Do we have one of those Heineken Silvers in the refrigerator? Because listen to me. Listen to me.
I didn't want to talk about
You can say anything you want. That's selfish by you. What did Dylan Cruz do last weekend? Did he have a good weekend? You think?
White
Pretty
hot.
good weekend. Pretty good weekend, right? Did you chug a beer on Friday?
I did. I want to. I do. I just want it to be cold.
I'm hoping there's one in there. I don't know if there's one in there.
It's okay.
not?
I'll do it for Dylan. I'll do it for the team. If this is how I contribute, you asked me to
You
come
want to
in.
put it on ice?
Can I just drink it normally? Or do I have to chug it?
You gotta chug it.
Chug it. I can't chug it on ice, right?
Yeah, right.
But if this is what the team asked me,
Maybe you put it on ice, cool it down, and then pour it in another one.
yeah, we can
That's
keep
a
it.
lot of work. Oh, there's one.
Cold
in there?
one?
Wow. There was one in there.
It's crazy to me that you started this thing. You tried this.
Oh, he's trying to get out of it. I mean, Dylan Cruz had a pretty good weekend last weekend, did he not?
What?
Did he not? What?
It's just intimidating of all the failures I've
Hold
had
on.
with it.
You got it on there. Put the camera on you. Give a shout out to our friends.
Jeff would not be happy with you right now.
Jeff,
Well, you know, our guy.
our guy.
All right.
Heineken Silver, brought to you by Heineken Silver, the official sponsor of the Booze Cruise. Thank you. Thank you. Come on, Dylan, one more time. Last time in the box, dude. Do it for the boys.
Boop, 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 boop.
This one's actually coming out pretty good, I think. Yeah, this one came out nice.
Much better
Good.
pace right here. Much
This
better
is good.
pace.
This is good. That was your best one. Yeah.
That might be your.
Dylan may hit,
chug.
Dylan
Might
may
be
hit
your
4
best
homers
one.
this
Super
weekend.
chug.
He made 4 homers this weekend.
You're not even like. Oh, I don't know. Wait, hold on.
Feel good?
All right. So hold on.
Okay, we're
That was
good.
nice. Good for you. All right. I'm glad we got that out the way.
When you talk about consistency, the more I've done it, the better I've gotten at it.
Exactly. It just takes time. Takes a little practice. Being that it's Friday, being that it's our very low key show, we've talked about the baseball for the majority of the show, which is the way it's been. Like I said, college baseball starting to wind down. We're gonna start doing a lot more Major League Baseball talk, but like actual baseball conversations, and then ease our way into football season. But like we do every Friday, we have our picks to click, and we have our lines that we like to call for the weekend as far as Skeens, the Skeens pitching line. So you think has a magical moment? This is super.
Which we would call a pick to click.
Well,
Well, we're talking about they basically have to have 2 of them, right? Like he has one every game. Correct?
every game.
I crushed that, dude.
So you need at least 2 magical moments, right?
So magic moment doesn't have to be a pick to click. Magical moment is
The J.
it's like what was the turning point of the game, whether it be a guy come out of the bullpen, big inning, whatever it is. Who do I think has the magical moment? The super. Well, there's 2. So I guess the first one.
I'm gonna give you one. My sneaky guy, who might have
Go for it. You start.
Oh, he took it
Pearson.
from you.
Pearson. I think he's got a magic moment coming.
I like
Is that a
that.
couple?
I like that. You know who I think is gonna have a magic moment this weekend? I think it's gonna be Thompson.
I was going to say the same thing. Let's
I think it's
go.
gonna be Thompson this weekend.
Ooh, that's great. I like
I think
that
it's
one.
gonna be Thompson. All right. Picks to click.
Oh, but do you think they keep... I mean, obviously you keep that if you get the magic moment. Put it on the wall.
Oh yeah, probably put it in your locker or whatever. Yeah.
Collect 'em.
Picks to click. Who wants to go first?
I haven't done it all year, and I'm probably stealing yours. I'm gonna go Dylan Cruz this weekend. I'm going Dylan Cruz this weekend.
Can you not?
Not just for Saturday, for the weekend.
Yes. When you think about your last... Did you know it was your last, obviously, like, trip in the box whenever you were... Both of you? Like, whenever you were... I guess you,
I did
what-
because we didn't make the
We didn't make the
we weren't
postseason.
gonna host.
Oh, you got the ovation. You got the name chant.
Yeah, but we weren't gonna host. So like I knew that was my last home game unless I came back, which I was planning on not coming back.
Maybe. I guess so. Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, it happened, but
I love that you just don't even think about it.
no. I like it. I as weird as it may sound, like that was the draft that happened. That was the furthest thing from my mind. Like I was so tuned in on the thought of like, if we don't, and this was from the start of the year too, if we don't win a national championship this year, I'm going to be so embarrassed because of how good we were. Because of how good we were, I'm like, that's the only thing I really care about right now. I'll get to the other stuff once it's done. Once I've literally reached the finish line. So like that thought process really didn't hit me. Like game was over, I guess, like the lap we did, and you're like, shit, I might not play here again. But other than that, I really never thought about it. I probably didn't even enjoy it as much as I probably should have, or like taking it in the way I should have, because I really didn't think about it.
Right.
On to the next.
I really didn't think
when
about
you talk about like being embarrassed, I feel like that's kind of where the team is also. Certainly in the regional, where it was, let's get through this because we're supposed to win. Super regional, anything can happen.
You don't think that way?
Yeah, no. I'm coming from, and I mention this all the time, but just seeing the team's response at the podium after the regional at Southern Miss, where they had to win one game, they lose 2. It's over, right?
It's disappointing for sure.
Right, and it feels like this year they put a lot of stock into, if we don't get at least to Omaha, what are we doing here?
For sure, but I don't.
know you
they
can't
don't
think that
think
way.
that way.
Right.
They don't think that way.
But
They
the
don't
goal is not advance to a super. It wasn't host a
I
regional.
don't think the goal is
to advance to Omaha. The
Yeah,
goal is to win the whole
yeah,
thing.
like I like that exactly. I think they're saying, and if they're saying anything like that, it's if we don't win it all, not just get to them. Well, who cares?
Yeah, that's where I think the team is, but kind of like where your perspective was, y'all knew that y'all were that good to where we don't win this whole thing. Like,
I think they feel the same way.
me too.
Yeah.
Me too. And if they go, I'll be there.
Yeah, we're talking about it.
Yeah,
Feel
feel free to put that credential in.
What
See
is
what
your-
happens at
yeah.
Omaha.
We've already we're in the process of trying to get.
Yeah,
that
we are.
done. What?
So should you. I can't do that.
I
for
haven't
you.
done that yet. Did you send that to me?
Mhm.
Okay, I'm gonna do it today.
Why not?
Because if
gotta
you
put a
read the
headshot.
email, you would know why.
I read the email.
Oh, did you?
Not the Omaha one. Okay. Anyway,
Oh no, not that one.
who is your pick to click?
Jordan Thompson was going to be mine.
Okay, but I took it, so
That
you
you
can't do
took it. Can I go?
You can go whoever you want, other than those two.
Beloso. I think.
I'll surprise
Talk
you.
about somebody
I
that
was
will
gonna
take
go.
at the
I was gonna
moment.
go Tommy. No. My magic moment was Thompson.
Oh.
That wasn't my pick to click.
Well, I'm sticking with the belly.
My pick to click is gonna be Tommy.
Tanks.
Yeah, I think he's gonna have a big weekend. He seems like over the few times this year that he hasn't done well, the next weekend.
And
Got triple digits lingering right there, so it's
Yeah.
let's kind of get this thing going.
when you saw him kind of get back to form with that last
Base hit.
single, yeah, that
So he's
was
what,
working the
93,
other
94
way.
RBIs now.
You know, I just felt like that was like, okay, I'm back to being. This is what
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be. I was probably pressing a little bit. This is what I'm supposed to. This is how I got here.
Yeah, that's my pick to click. Okay,
it.
go through the lines. Go through the pitching line for Huskins.
I'm gonna stick with the one that I said earlier. I'm gonna go with. Actually, I'm not gonna stick with it. I'm gonna go with 6 2/3.
Ooh. So 7 1/3. Okay.
6 2/3. I said 6 1/3 last time, or did I
You
say
said
7?
7 1/3.
6 2/3. 11 punchies.
Mm-hmm.
One walk.
Runs.
What they scored him last time?
4.
3 runs. 6 hits.
He went the whole deal.
With the whole deal. So when he goes the whole deal, he's usually like
Pretty close.
pretty close.
Yeah.
I'll go. I'm gonna say he goes 8 1/3. Gets the moment to walk off of the mound at Alex Box. I'm sure he'd want to close it out if he gets that close, but if he's pitching the way that I think he is with 14 strikeouts, 2 earned, no walks, and absolutely shoves, and then Jay pulls him, gives him the ovation, Guidry, banger. I'm gonna go 8 2/3. No, 8 1/3.
You're going 8
8
2.
8 1/3. 8
Wow.
1/3. And get Guidry in there, close the whole deal out. LSU wins by a comfortable margin, and it's an absolute gem of a day.
I think he's going to further solidify his way through everything. I just reaffirming to everybody how good he is. 8 innings pitched, 15 strikeouts, 1 run, 0 walks, 6 hits.
Second time around. Wow, that's an aggressive line right there.
I think it's going to be better this time around. He had 13 strikeouts the last time, 6 innings. He's 2 more innings. I think he's going to get to 2 more strikeouts. And I
The
don't
only
think he's
reason
gonna
I
get
went
as many
less is
hits.
because I don't expect it to be. I would love for it to be, but it's hard to expect that. So I don't expect it to be a 10 spot on the board in
Right.
the first 3 innings, and I expect them to be able to deploy the type of game they're trying to play a little bit more, which will probably take some swing and miss out of there because they don't have to try to bang their way back
Yeah.
into it.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why I'm going with that line.
Yep, we'll
That
see.
makes sense. Chet, I like your thinking.
We'll see. No, it's a great line of thinking. I think that he's going to be too good for those guys. They haven't. I say they scored a lot of runs last weekend. Like, yeah, they had 2 games where they scored some runs. They beat West Virginia 10-0, but the other 3 games were not. They did not score a ton. So I went back and changed the way I thought about how he was gonna pitch them. So that's what I got. All right. We have 2 segments today. Go ahead.
Well,
What would you like to see this weekend? Obviously, outside of them winning the series going home, like what would you like specifically in games? What would you like to see this weekend? Yeah,
Like from
Either.
LSU?
Yeah,
I would like to see the pitching staff continue to pitch how they pitched last weekend. Like the starters, go out there, do what they need to do, throw a bunch of strikes. I would like the guys who come out of the bullpen to do what they need, do their job, right? come in there, throw strikes, and I would like to see them not get super extended. The bullpen guys, right? Like, hey, this guy needs to go out there for an inning, maybe an inning and a third, 2/3, and then move on to the next one. Not you're going to go out there for 3 1/3, and because the starters didn't go long. I'd also like to see our offense, bang, but like I'd like to see them have a good mix of quality at bats as far as moving guys or getting guys in and driving a couple guys in with runners in scoring position early on in the game to where it kind of like takes that pressure off.
So you want to see him play 3 complete games?
Yes.
All right, again.
Pretty much.
I would honestly
Pretty
like
much.
to see the.
That's pretty much it.
I would like to see the
Every
offense
reporter ever, if you were at the podium, to be like, all right, you can wrap this thing up.
I got
You
it.
can
Perfect
thank you for
game,
the coach
man.
speech.
That was
yeah.
very good coach speak by me, but that's what I want to see.
I'd
That's what I wanna
like to see
That's
the
what I wanna
offense come out and bang. Like I say bang, in the sense of like leave no doubt, play with the lead, stay with the lead,
Dominate.
respond to runs they put up, and just keep putting the pressure on them to be like, hey, if you're gonna score, we're gonna score more. Hey, we're not taking any inning off. We're gonna keep hitting balls really hard. That's what I would like to see from.
I'm gonna revise what I said. I mean, obviously, I want all of it. I want to see all of it, but more in particular, of what I really like to see, I want to see the defense be flawless throughout the course of the weekend. I want them to see it make every play they need to make and back up the pitchers who are throwing strikes. And if I see that,
It's a good one.
I have a lot more confidence in them making the run through Omaha because that's going to be the big thing. There's going to be a time where your defense is going to have to make a big play. That's what I want to see.
I like that one. What do you got?
Now they have been bad,
No,
but
I agree, and especially with the way that they flip-flopped Dugas and Thompson from second to short to second, depending on who's in the box, and it's something that Dugas addressed, and he said, you wanted Thompson's glove on every ball, I understand it, like it's not a problem with me.
Who said that? Who said that was the reason why they did that?
Me
Me and Jared.
and me.
Did you say that too?
Oh, yeah. I was the one that noticed it.
You noticed it, but
Yeah.
why do you think they did that? Well, it's because they want to
Oh,
put the
so
ball.
I saw something, it didn't say
Because
something.
well, no, you said that it was. What do you think? It's because his shoulders hurt,
I do.
but it's because they
You
wanted.
mentioned that also.
He mentioned that he wanted to have the ball in the guy's glove as much as possible, and that I think is a big reason.
Because I'm limited defensively.
Maybe
as right now.
Or maybe it's because this is your first go around ever being a second baseman, and you got a little injury. So let's go ahead and make sure we get this guy playing.
But
Anyway,
I agree
that
with
doesn't
you
matter.
to an extent. I would just define it a little bit to have a different take. I'd like to see, obviously, defense play well, yes. The Rispy. I'd like to see runners in scoring position get home. Because what you did against Oregon State, where you left the bases loaded twice in 2
Three
innings.
times.
3 times.
It's
But
a good
back to
game,
back,
yeah.
for sure. And it just, those type of moments where you can capitalize and be able to, like Jared said, leave no doubt. Those
Mm-hmm.
are the moments where you want to be able to say, okay, we have bases loaded, 1 out. I don't care if you score 1 or score 6, but let's score 1. Like, make sure you take advantage of those moments when you get, because that's hard to do.
And when you get them early in the game, if you don't take advantage of them, it gives the
Step
other
on their
team
neck.
confidence to like, okay, we got out of our jam. Now we can kind of settle in. You don't let them settle in, then you can run away with it.
Yeah.
And the other, from the defensive side, I feel like it's going to be Travinsky back there. Let's,
Yeah,
a couple
tighten it up
pass
a little
balls,
bit.
tighten it up. Just tighten it up. Squeeze those things. That's the only thing.
There we go. All right, let's go to segments. Doe's mistake. Doe's mistake of the day is brought to you by Doe's Eat Place.
Lloyd just told Travinsky to squeeze it back there.
Squeeze it.
Squeeze that thing.
Just catch it.
Squeeze it tight.
Oh, that's great.
What's your mistake of the day?
My mistake of the day, I would love to do Zion because you could do him again if you wanted to. He's squeezing that thing.
I like this one too.
My mistake of the day is a lot of people are talking about this in terms of just the totality of what's happening with Live Golf and the PGA, and it does not feel like there's actually a partnership there. Live is trying to do still wants to be a standalone brand and still be Live Golf. And with that said, there was a Live executive who said, trying to get Rory on a Live team, nobody wants that little bitch on their golf team. So Liv is still living out there.
He said all
Well,
that.
that's aggressive for this guy.
He said all that.
I wouldn't say that.
Verbatim?
Rory, yes, that's a quote.
He must.
Tough.
That's tough. That's an insult.
Ooh.
That's
You
fighting
think?
words.
You think that's an insult?
Well, you could have said it a bunch of different ways and still got your point across. This is just blatant, like, fuck that guy. It's just
He's just
live living.
That's not. You can't be doing that. That's not a good look.
It's golf, but louder.
That's what it is.
It's the Live brand.
They must go by like different press rules over there.
Oh, I don't get paid. I don't think there's any rules.
Oh, you told the Saudis treat the press differently?
I don't think there are any rules.
Man.
That's a good one, Lloyd. Good job.
Thank you. Work today.
Appreciate that. It's document looked great. Document
Pristine.
looks great. Look, and
I
we're
don't know
on
about pristine,
time,
man.
and like it was good. We did good. We're doing good.
Doing good. We do a
Doing
pre-show.
Did a pre-show. All right, our current calls. I think we pretty much, unless you have one specifically, I think that's a good collective one. I had one, but that was this
That's-
this
that
trumps.
takes
That one
the
trumps it.
cake.
What do you need? What else do you need?
Current calls brought to you by our friends down at Assured Partners.
And
Again,
This way. That way. Which way?
Assured Partners.
Franklin.
And me.
there you go.
Shout out Jay Johnson.
Shout out, Jay.
Getting the boy. I mean,
Gets the people going.
going. It's provocative. What's the name of that song?
You want me to say it?
The only one that
You
could.
can't.
But there's no way anybody gets ejected, right? They're not doing that to the student section. This go
Oh,
around.
maybe.
But I mean, it'd have to be. They've been very quick to toss. Like
I'd hope not, but I hope that someone doesn't do anything too that's deserving of an ejection. I do hope it's rowdy and it's energetic, and I think it's going to be. Jay Johnson bought all the tickets for all the student sections, so good for
Is that just
him.
a check?
Yeah.
Yes. What is it? What's the number?
No, I mean those.
No, I'm saying that's what he's like. What?
Yeah, those tickets aren't that expensive. So let's just say, yeah, it's whatever it is.
I wonder if the rules are still in place.
What?
You have to have over a 2.0 GPA. I would waive that.
I never had that.
That was a rule?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Well, it's not very. I mean, you can't even really be in school with anything under a 2.0.
I don't know.
But I would waive that too. Give me those kids. Give me the buckshots. Give me the 0.8.
Time out. That was a rule? That was a thing?
Well, you didn't have to worry about it.
Why does that matter? I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's a rule, I guess. I didn't know
It's
that.
a privilege. It's not a right.
That's a good point.
Well, so what if you had a 3.0 last semester and you started this semester?
Should stay
Bullshit.
eligible.
Like, you was bullshitting to start the semester.
There's no way they check that, right? They're not swiping your.
Not right now.
Like,
Summer,
where's your
school's
GPA?
out. School's out. School's out.
I have a 4.0 technically. Hadn't started yet. Start off with 100.
No, you start with a 0.
No, it's the other way.
Is it?
Yeah,
You sure?
absolutely. I always had a 4.0 until I didn't.
Is that how it works? I didn't know that. Okay, good to know. All right. Great Friday show, as always. Great Friday show.
I love Friday.
Me too. I think a lot of
You
people
know what I'm
like
about
Friday.
to love even more?
What's that?
Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday's gonna be fun. Come out and join our tailgate this Saturday. Game's at 2:00. We'll be out there earlier than that. I'd imagine it's probably really gonna start getting cooking and going right around noon. Come out there, support the show, support the team,
Support the troops.
support the troops if you want to support the troops. Support LSU in general, and let's just
Mik'd up.
support fun. Support
Yeah,
fun.
that's a great way to say
Support
it.
fun. Support fun. We're gonna be out there tailgating. You're gonna have to find us. We are not telling you where we're gonna be. You have to find us. We'll be somewhere where you can see us. We're not
Just
gonna
look
be
for
hidden.
where the fun support is.
Just look where the fun support is.
Hashtag support fun.
We appreciate all of the love. We appreciate you tuning in. We appreciate you watching, listening. If you like what you see and you like the content that we give you, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. It really does help us out. Press the little thumbs up. Is it a thumbs up button?
Yeah.
Like it. Just press it. It gives us a lot of feedback. Even if you don't like it, press it down. That's okay. Just some feedback. I like them to see more up than down, but you know that's how it works.
More feedback than none.
Yep.
'Cause
Feedback is good feedback.
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
any publicity is good publicity. That's what they say. Any feedback is good feedback.
It's
We'll
like
do
YouTube,
better if you
but
don't like
louder.
us. Like YouTube, but louder. Yes. If you don't like to watch us or you can't watch us and you listen to us or anywhere you get your pods, again, our tailgate will be
Around.
alive and well Saturday,
Supporting fun.
leading up to the game, supporting fun, leading up to the game. And please come out, join us, hang out with us, have some drinks with us, and we'll have a good time. We'll be back live in studio from 6 to 8 p.m. on Monday. We're recapping, hopefully, an LSU Super Regional victory and leading into Omaha the next week after that. So appreciate y'all. Enjoy your Friday. We'll see you this weekend. Peace.
You gotta figure out Wednesday. I'm gone.
You'll figure it out.
Okay.
We should probably
And-
figure that out off the show, right?
Yeah. And the last thing I would say is shout out everybody that supports the Boosters Initiative.
Yes.
It's a nonprofit 501c3, so I appreciate all the funding that you'll have, the funding for the free beer. So shout out everybody in the standing room only SRO for those that don't know.
SRO. What? Why did you?
What are you doing
I don't
right
know
now?
what he's doing.
I told y'all we were standing remotely, and Jerry goes, "What's that?"
Well, yeah. I guess that was the first time someone's ever said SRO. Now I know it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the more you know.
The ticket guy asked, "You want SROs?" Like, no. Oh yeah. Do you want SROs?
That's it. You
Got a
operate
couple of those.
freely.
Got a couple SRO for some peeps.
All right, that's the show.
That's the show. Peace.